We don't have any mic. Do we have a mic? Check, 1, 2. Okay. Hey, good evening. Good evening, everyone. We're going to get started with our meeting. If you would rise, and we're going to do our pledge. Commissioner Trio is going to lead us in our pledge.
Hand over your heart. Any hats go off. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Secretary, can we get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Rice,
Here.
Commissioner Trejo,
Here.
Commissioner Shaw Williams,
Here.
Chairman Springs.
Here. Any communications from staff?
Yes, Chairman. First, we would like to recognize that tonight is Senior Planner Eddie Ikumafuna's last Planning Commission meeting, as he will be retiring at the end of this month officially. And so I would like to read a resolution into the record recognizing his 35 years of exemplary service to the city of Inglewood. Celebrating 35 years of planning division service for Mr. Eddie Ikumafuna. Whereas Eddie Ikumafuna has served the city of Inglewood honorably, intelligently, judiciously, selflessly, and with the highest degree of distinction and integrity for more than 35 years. From October 1988, when he began as an assistant planner, to April 25th, 2024, on the occasion of his retirement as a city planner from the planning division. And whereas during his tenure with the city, Mr. Ikumafuna facilitated innumerable development projects for the city. Some of the most notable ones include the Osage Senior Village, a 91-unit senior housing project, 20-unit Path affordable housing complex, the Renaissance community consisting of 375 detached townhomes, the Marketplace at Hollywood Park Shopping Center, the Village at Century, the Burlington Coat Factory Shopping Center, and whereas he guided many other projects to completion, including the Senior Center, the renovation of the U.S. Veterans Complex, the Crystal Inn, the Vaughn Supermarket, the Northgate Market, and the CarMax Auto Center. And whereas Mr. Eddie Ikumafuna is well known, respected, and admired throughout the city of Inglewood as a dedicated employee whose leadership and diligence have made a difference both inside and outside of City Hall to make the city of Inglewood a better place. And whereas Mr. Ikumafuna is known and admired among his colleagues for being well-versed and knowledgeable in all things planning related and soccer. And he served as a firm but fair mentor to staff, encouraging them to utilize their strengths to work to the best of their ability. And whereas the city of Inglewood has greatly benefited from his selfless service and dedication, Mr. Ikumafuna's lasting contributions as a planner, colleague, mentor, and friend will be appreciated and felt in the community for many years to come. Now, therefore, be it known that the City of Inglewood Planning Commission and Planning Division staff hereby recognize and commend Mr. Senior Planner Eddie the Chief Ikumafuna for his exemplary service to the City of Inglewood. Congratulate him on his retirement and wish him well in all of his future endeavors. Presented the 25th day of April. Well, we will present this at his official retirement celebration, but please, if we can indulge him and stand for a round of applause. The crowd showed up for the chief tonight.
Well, congratulations, Eddie. He's one of mine USC buddies. So, and I thought you had to be over a certain age to retire. I didn't know you're still a baby. So, okay.
Further communication from staff. There was a letter received from MTA related to item 6A, which was included in the Planning Commission packet. Also, just a quick point of correction. In item 6A staff report, there's reference to the MTA letter as attachment 4. It's actually attachment 5. Second, staff received 2 letters of opposition for item 6B. One was included as a part of your Planning Commission packet. The other was provided to you at the dais prior to tonight's meeting, and we also have a copy of those that correspondence at for the public. And that concludes staff's communication this evening.
Okay, thank you. Okay, public comments. Anyone wishing to address the Planning Commission on any items other than the public hearing may do so at this time. You just go back to the mic, give us your name. Hearing none, seeing none, we're going to close that segment. And at this particular point, I'd like to get an approval for the minutes of March 6, 2024.
I move approval.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved in second for the approval of the minutes for March 6, 2024. Calling for any questions? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote.
Commissioner Rice?
Aye.
Commissioner Trejo?
Aye.
Commissioner Shaw Williams?
Aye.
Chairman Springs?
Aye. Okay, public hearing number 6A.
Public hearing, item 6A. A public hearing to consider an application by Elliott Weinstock representing 225 North La Brea LLC for special use permit number 2021-012, SP 2021-012, to approve a final planned assembly development, PAD, to allow a 5-story multiple-family residential building that consists of 137 studio apartment units with 69 surface parking spaces on an approximately 68,000 square foot MU2 mixed-use 2-zone property at 225 North La Brea Avenue.
Chairman Springs and Commission, the file is present and staff has been given, and notice has been given in the form and matter as required by law. Staff received 1 letter from the MTA, and Planner Arturo Salazar is present to do a short staff presentation.
Good evening, Chairman Springs and members of the commission. The 1.5-acre site is located on the northwest corner of La Brea Avenue and Florence Avenue. The site is currently developed with an approximately 3,000 square foot vacant building and surface parking lot. Properties to the north and west are zoned MU2 and developed with commercial uses. Properties to the south are zoned HC and developed with commercial uses. Properties to the east are zoned MU1 and developed with a shopping center. The Metro K line is south of the site along Florence Avenue. On June 1st, 2022, the Planning Commission approved special use permit number 2021-012 to allow 137 studio apartment units. As part of the PAD application, the applicant requested the following code deviations: land use, lot size, height, dwelling units, and parking. Since the approval of the preliminary PAD, the street-facing transformer has been relocated to the rear of the building, therefore eliminating 1 code deviation. On April 17th, 2023, the applicant submitted the site plan review application. On January 25th, 2024, the applicant requested city consideration of revised architectural treatments. On March 26, 2024, the planning staff found that the submitted plans with all required agency approvals were in substantial conformance with the applicable requirements of the municipal code. The exterior elevations for the residential building have been revised due to budget constraints and comments received from the fire department. The approximately 700 square foot amenity room will be eliminated due to the identification of a fault line and will be replaced with additional indoor space on the ground floor, in the lobby, and open outdoor area. The previously approved north elevation design includes a low wall with horizontal cement board finish, individual white angled frame cornices at the top of the building with a continuous white vertical frame, a projecting white horizontal band at the bottom of the second floor, and balconies with glass guardrails and angled edges. The applicant is proposing to replace the individual white angled frame cornices to one continuous cornice with painted dark vertical lines. The white vertical frames will be replaced with painted yellow vertical stripes and the removal of the white horizontal band at the second floor. The depths of the balconies and cornices will be reduced. The previous approved south elevation design includes white solid railings for several balconies on floors 1 through 5. The applicant is proposing white vertical pickets. The previous approved west elevation design includes 2 art walls, an unenclosed stairway, glass guardrails, and white cornices at the top of the building. The applicant is proposing to relocate the apartment number 12 stack, floors 1 through 5, to the north corridor of the building, fully enclose the stairway, and provide an attached 1-story mechanical room adjacent to the courtyard. The applicant also proposes to replace the guardrails with yellow steel picket guardrails, eliminate 1 art wall, and remove the projecting white cornices at the top of the building. The approved east elevation design includes a green wall, an art wall, glass guardrails, horizontal and vertical cement siding, and anodized aluminum storefront windows along the ground floor lobby. The remainder of the facade consists of fine sand stucco. The applicant is proposing to replace a portion of the horizontal and vertical cement board siding and green wall with stucco. The applicant also proposes to replace the glass guardrails with steel metal picket guardrails. The storefront aluminum system will incorporate a yellow band above the storefront glass windows. The applicant is also proposing to install a driveway gate for security purposes. The amenities proposed for the residential development are WeWork type workstations in the lobby area for residents of the building, 1,500 square feet of outdoor and indoor amenity space and outdoor seating, a common area roof deck on the second floor above the lobby. An addendum to the EIR has been prepared stating that the proposed project is within the scope of the original EIR. This concludes staff's presentation. I will be happy to answer any questions you may have at this time.
Okay, thank you, Art. Good presentation. We're going to open up for questions for you, Art. We're going to start off with Commissioner Trail.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Actually, I really am going to hold off my comments right now, and we'll wait for the applicant to come up.
Commissioner Shaw-Williams,
I have no questions at this time.
Commissioner Rice.
Are you able to go back to the plot plan and identify where they saw a fault coming through, earthquake fault coming through, and
Sure.
make changes?
So as you can see, the dotted line to the left towards the parking lot going west is the no build zone, and the dotted line going to the east towards the building is okay to build zone.
The little white section there, is that a trash enclosure or something?
That's the transformer
Oh, that's the transformer.
that was relocated.
As in a step-down transformer of some type?
No, it's above grade transformer.
Microphone, please.
Meaning the voltage itself, meaning step down. It's a transformer for power transformer,
That's correct.
but it's above ground.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
I have no questions for you. If the applicant is here, please take the mic in the back and tell us about this particular project that you have.
Hi, my name is Richard.
You're going to have to pick up the mic and bring it to you. Pick it up. Right.
Hear me now?
Yes.
My name is Richard Solaris, and I am the president of Urban Architecture Lab, and we are the architects for the project. And we are here to answer any questions you may have. And then also,
Hi, my name is Yael Seneson. Thank you for having us here. We're very excited about this project and appreciate your time. I represent the owner in the project.
Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to open it up questions for you, sir. We're going to start off with Commissioner Trejo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to start off by saying that I fundamentally like the project. I like the amenities that are being provided, especially a washer dryer in each unit. Wow, that's pretty good, especially for such a small unit. Average size, I guess, for a studio apartment. And that's the target that I know you're going for, are the younger generation that will more than likely move in because they will be employed in the city of Inglewood in the entertainment district. I have a concern with the new design. And you know, what I'd like to know, well, let me go back to the design. That was one of the things that impressed me the most when you came before the Planning Commission back during the preliminary PAD approval, because particularly the cornices, is that what they're called? The angled cornices gave it a really unique look, and it provided interest. It was more aesthetically pleasing, and it didn't look like a lot of other apartment buildings. But I understand because of fire department comments and budget constraints, you had to, or you elected to change the design. What were some of the fire department comments that caused you to look at it differently?
sure. And again, I wanted to thank all the commission for having us here tonight. So the original design was anticipating that what's called the aerial access for the building, which means the fire department truck pulls up and they have an aerial access ladder that pulls off of the truck and is able to access the upper parts of the building, was going to be accessed from La Brea Avenue. During the site plan review and subsequent reviews with the fire department, their preference was to have the aerial access off of the north side of the building along the long side. And so what that meant was our original driveway was 26 feet wide, and the building was a little deeper and wider overall, including the cornices that you mentioned. And so the new requirement was a 28-foot driveway plus an additional 10-foot of access area for them to maneuver around their truck in the case they needed to access the building. So essentially, we lost 14 feet on the narrow side of the building completely in order to accommodate their requirements. And as we know, fire department requirements are not really that negotiable because it's life safety. And so we had to make some decisions on how we accommodate this and how it works. And part of it was the design, and part of it was the client actually giving up square footage on the overall building in order to make all of this work. And so, you know, that coupled with the fact that we started this project over 2 years ago, and since then, the economy has changed quite a bit. So we're trying to make everything work and accommodate everybody. And so that's, you know, I think we're still really proud of the design, and I think that it's still going to be a very nice building. And I think one of the main things that we tried to do was on the street frontage, which is obviously the side closest to La Brea that's going to be seen the most, to have the least amount of changes and basically keep it almost exactly the same, and then have the changes that we needed to make be the rest of the building going back, which is less visible from the street.
So the north elevation that I'm looking at right now on the screen, the previous design, is that facing La Brea?
No, that's actually facing north. La Brea is to the left on that slide. So really what you see from the street is that image right there. That's primarily what you're going to see as you're walking by and driving by. It's a little deceiving to see that other elevation, but we had to show it to really show the design of the building. But that's really not what you see, because there's obviously a bunch of other buildings and properties in front of us. What you really see is this image right here, which for the most part didn't change.
This is the one that faces La Brea.
Correct. And this is kind of like the northeast facade as you're coming down La Brea into downtown.
Can you go back to that north elevation, please? And that faces what?
That faces north, but in the foreground where you see kind of green on the top image, there's actually quite a bit of retail buildings and parking lots and that sort of thing in front of it. So it's, again, it's a little deceiving, but in order to show the design in a more comprehensive way, we kind of took that stuff out. But if you saw it with all that stuff in there at eye view in terms of a car or a pedestrian, you wouldn't see most of the building.
Okay, go back to the other one, please. Again, that gives me a different perspective of the design, the proposed design with the added yellow strip on the retail. Looks good. But I did have one other question. Budget constraints, was that because of the 2 years or what?
Well, in the 2 years, Jerome Powell kind of changed the world for development with interest rates. And we obviously are architects for many projects. We probably have 2,000 units going on in development. And last year, you know, we had like 10 projects basically just die, like go nowhere. And a lot of other ones just sitting there and not knowing if they're ever going to get built or when they're going to get built. And interest rates drive everything in development. And so that, you know, caught a lot of us off guard, you know, since we started this thing in late, you know, mid or late 2022, and 2023 was a doozy. So that's what I mean by the economic impact.
Okay, that's what I like about Planning Commission. It gives you an opportunity to ask questions when to get more clarification. That really clears up a lot for me, because I think the elevation that I was not real happy with, at least, is one that is not quite as visible. But I still say it really added to the design of the building, but the explanation helps me a lot. Thank you.
Commissioner Shaw-Williams.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good. I did like the current design, but I have to say I like the proposed design better. I feel that it's, in my opinion, it's more open, and it's a major improvement for that area. So I'm pleased with the current design. I was curious about the WeWork type stations. How many will you have in the lobby?
Our lobby will be a multifunctional use space. So we will have areas throughout the entire lobby that can be used for different uses. So you can use it for workspace. We have a conference room, and then we have multiple stations throughout the area and pockets that you can work from. We will also have that in the exterior areas as well.
Are there any fees involved to the residents there,
No.
or they just have to reserve it?
They can just come as they please. We offer this in other buildings throughout Southern California, and residents. Oh, there's Wi-Fi throughout the property as well. That'll have access. The residents will have access to whenever they're in common areas. So this is a very typical offering for us. We always provide this. There's so much work from home happening that we want to make the residents comfortable, especially with the smaller units.
Okay, thank you. I really like it, and it's going to uplift that area. Thank you.
Commissioner Rice?
How are you?
Good.
Okay. Question. The security gate, I heard Salazar mentioned there was going to be a security gate placed. Is that in the parking area, or is that security for the residents in the building?
So we're securing the property. So first of all, on the south side closest to the metro line, there's a gate that heads off our side yard to the south. But then on the north, we do have a security gate on the driveway, and that security gate has actually been moved to the back of the toward the back of the building, again at the request of the fire department. But it will secure the property because the gate will not only control cars going in and out, but it'll also have a pedestrian gate, so it'll tie into the building itself. And therefore, the rest of the property will be basically secured with I can't remember if it's 5 or 6 foot fence and access cards.
Can you identify where the fence is going to be for the one coming off of La Brea?
Oh.
Is it on La Brea? There's one there.
Oh,
there's another one in the front on La Brea. I want to know where that one is. Oh, pedestrian. So the driveway where the residents are is going to be open all the time.
correct.
Oh, okay. To that point. And then you have a center block fence wall that's adjacent to the gate.
Commissioner,
gate.
may I add, Commissioner, that the location of the fence also helps for queuing purposes?
Okay.
So you won't have a stack of people
Right.
waiting to back up off of La Brea Avenue.
But the maximum security we have there is a 6 foot fence. Okay. One other section I was concerned with, that's on my book here, it's A0-02B. That's the first floor plan. I can walk you through it. As you come up down the driveway and you pass the first 7 cars, you're making a left turn there. All of the other driveway is 26 feet and 24 feet, except for when you get into that one section making the left turn there, it's reduced down to 20 feet of width. You have 2 cars passing within a 20-foot width space.
Right there?
Up higher, yeah. Up higher. Right in there, right there where Chris is. That's reduced to 20 feet. You have 2 cars passing there. If you were to, I mean, not that I'm trying to take away parking space, but I'm concerned with people passing so closely. That's the width of a 2-car garage.
Right, so that 20 feet, there's more space there. They're just showing that as the drive angle. But if you see it from end to end, there's more space.
I just didn't know if it was landscape space or if that was actually the driving space.
That's the driveway space. So there's a 24-foot wide driveway there.
What's the minimum code requirement?
I'm sorry, 27 with 8 inches is the width. If you go down a bit.
Okay, so that's all drivable.
That's correct.
Commissioner, sorry, if I may, the highlighted area was meant to highlight the fire department access area.
Uh-huh.
And so the graphics may be a little misleading, but the actual backup space is a minimum of 26 feet for all the drive aisles and parking areas and everything else. But the two gray areas, as we were stating, is all backup area. But that dark gray was just highlighting it for the fire departments to show them where their backup areas and access areas were.
The entire area is hard surface.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Okay, thank you. I have a couple of questions. I want to go back to the original plans that we had a couple of years ago, I believe it was, where we're talking about lot size, height, dwelling units, and parking. I just want to go back just a little bit just to understand some of the things that we approved at that time. The height that we were going with at one point was a 4-story or 60 feet, and now we have 5 stories, a little higher, and we approved that. Then we went from 80 square feet, 80,000, I should say, square feet, and now we went to 67. So we made that change in the lot. My issue, and I know it's at a point now that we probably can't make any changes, but I'm going to see what my commissioners are thinking about as well. We went from 100, because there are 137 units, am I correct?
Chairman, if I may, the height, that's the TOD standard. So those were the code deviations that they received and were approved for the 5 stories in lieu of the 4 stories, which is the TOD standard.
Understood. I misspoke, but understood. Okay. But my main question would be, and when I say this, I want to make sure that the applicant is aware of it, and I want to know where did you receive the data to reduce the parking from 137 to 69. So I'm assuming that you're saying that at this particular point, the people that are going to be renting the units are not driving, and we have the train station right next door, and they'll be getting onto that. So I need you to help us understand where you received that data for younger people not wanting to drive. I was young, and I wanted to drive. And we had trains in Los Angeles, so I didn't want to take a train. I wanted to drive my own car. So I'm trying to understand, and I want the commissioners to understand the data that you received to make that decision on reducing the parking. Not only that, but there is no visitors parking, and I understand that there's parking on the outside for guests. So I need you to help us understand that. Well, help me understand that.
Sure. So I think this comes in 2 parts. So the first part is the general trend from Sacramento and planning policy in general is to reduce parking, and especially around transit-rich areas, such as we are literally a block away from a transit stop. And so that is the general directive and plan and policy that is basically governing California right now and the direction people want to go as a state. The second point of view is from a purely market standpoint, we and the owner have been doing projects around Los Angeles for many years, and the general trend is people are driving less and are using alternative means of transportation, car sharing, Uber, that sort of thing, and just don't want the expense of a car, quite frankly. And so that is a, I guess, calculated thing that we agree with, because, you know, as an owner, they're spending millions of dollars to build this building, and they obviously don't want an empty building. And therefore, they're kind of agreeing with the fact that this trend, which is only going to grow, in their opinion, in the long run to less and less automobile driving on an individual level, that this would be sufficient to, you know, support this building. So that's essentially where we are, and we kind of believe in bicycle parking, alternative modes of transportation, Uber, that sort of thing, are going to more than supplement the requirements.
I have another question in regards to the dwelling units as well. At one point, we reduced it from the 500 square to the 430 square. And you put in a washer and dryer inside the units. Are we looking at built-ins as well, like stove, refrigerator? That's what we're looking at. Now, the tenant would have to bring in their own furniture, bed, couch. Have you thought about if the reduction has been reduced from 500 to 430, if you would have had it at the 500, could you have possibly put in what we call a Murphy bed, which comes from the wall, and that would have been part of the structure itself? Has that been thought about?
We have discussed that, and it hasn't been necessarily ruled out, but it's not something that we're proposing definitively right now. And I completely understand what you're saying, because it's kind of like makes that living room a dual-purpose bedroom, and then during the day folds up and becomes the living room. But it's something that we have not, you know, committed to or necessarily designed into the project at this point in terms of a built-in.
Okay, thank you. I have no other questions. Any other questions from the commissioners? Commissioner Shaw Williams,
No further questions, thank you.
Commissioner Trejo?
Just a question for staff. Final precise plans would be what we're looking at now? Is that what that is? So
That is correct, Commissioner.
I'm sorry. So if the motion is made for approval of final precise plans, that's what is in front of us, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Rice?
I just wanted the applicant to go over and explain their security concern, their security plan for this building.
So the security plan, we have a combination of, we have cameras throughout the property at all corners of the building and views of the parking lot. We have lighting on all sides of the building as well. And then we have security gates, which are RFID tagged, basically keyed to only residents at both the south part of the building, and then again a pedestrian gate at the vehicular gate, kind of on the north side toward the west of the building as well. And then the entire property has property line walls around it that are a minimum of 6 feet tall. So we think we have a pretty comprehensive security plan in place with camera coverage over the entire site. And that's really the comprehensive nature of it. Oh, and we'll have a site security as well in terms of people and overnight security as well, kind of walking the site intermittently.
24-hour security?
Overnight, because during the day we're going to have management there.
Okay, and then during the night they will be watching the camera system.
Correct. And the cameras record everything, cloud-based recording of everything all the time. But then overnight there will be a person monitoring them.
A question for staff. With reference to the 6-foot fence, do we have any special requirements that the applicant would have to put in to have the fence elevated to at least 7 feet? Because a 6-foot fence, I mean.
Chairman, Commissioner, the CBC allows up to 7 feet.
So they can make it 7 feet because your design all the way around shows 9 center blocks, which represents 6 feet all the way around the perimeter of the property. So if this is approved, I'm going to request that we move it to 7 feet. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, hearing no other questions, I'd like to open it up for anyone. Thank you very much. I'd like to open it up for anyone who is in favor of this particular project or against this particular project. You can go to the mic and give us your comments, please. You only have 1 minute. 1 minute on that, please. Please give us your name.
Amber Tuggerson. I have a question. I live right at La Brea and Beach. So when the traffic is coming down La Brea, those two driveways that exist right now, is that car traffic that will be going to the rear of the building and everybody will be coming from that? I don't know what that street is. I should know it. What is the back street there?
Beach. We're talking-
No, I'm on Beach. It's not on Beach. As you come Florence, that property goes all the way back.
Okay, so, ma'am, let me see if I can help you out on this.
Okay, please.
What we're doing right now, we're asking people if they're in favor of this. Hold on, ma'am, let me finish, please. We're asking people if they're for this particular project or against this particular. You have a question, so we would like to answer your question. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have our staff answer your particular question. But this segment is for approval or disapproval from the residents. So your question is in regards to Art. Art, can you answer her question?
Are you referring to Ivy behind the property?
Yes, is that the street?
Yes.
I'm opposed to the project in general, and I was just wondering about those two, where the Casa Tacos was, there's two driveways there. Will cars be coming there from La Brea? Because now we have such an influx of traffic.
Okay, ma'am, you've already answered your question. Thank you. Anyone else?
I need her to spell her name for me, please.
I hear somebody. We'll get it later.
Okay. We'll get your spelling of your name later.
Okay, we're going to close this segment. And I'd like to see if there's a motion on the floor.
Motion.
Second.
What is your motion?
Well,
You second, it's just saying the word
I'm
motion.
gonna second it when she's finished.
But she asked that you wanted to make a correction on that 6-foot wall.
Continue, please.
Okay.
I move that we approve the final precise plans and adopt the resolution approving SP 2021-012. And I've read the conditions, and I'm okay with the conditions. I don't know if my second wants to add anything, but that's the motion.
With your permission, I'd like to add a request that the security fences increase from 6 feet to 7 feet.
Okay, I have no problem with that.
I second that.
Okay. You've heard the motion. It was second. We call for any questions on the motion. Hearing none, we'll call for a vote.
Commissioner Rice,
Aye.
Commissioner Trejo,
Aye.
Commissioner Shaw Williams,
Aye.
Chairman Springs.
Aye. Mr. Bernard?
Chairman, according to the IMC, anyone may appeal the Planning Commission's decision. The appeal must be filed within 20 days from the notice of the decision and shall be made by filing a written appeal along with an appeal fee of $942 to the Planning Division.
Okay. Congratulations on your project. Madam Secretary, please.
Item 6B. A public hearing to consider an application by Erica Diaz representing Woods Diaz Group, LLC, for special use permit number 23-00027, SUP 23-00027, to allow the sale of beer and wine for off-site consumption in an approximately 2,050 square foot, one-story retail tenant space that is part of a multiple tenant commercial building on an approximately 26,600 square foot MUC TOD mixed use corridor zone property at 3535 West Imperial Highway.
Chairman Springs and Commission, the file is present and notice has been given in the form and matter as required by law. Staff received 2 letters in opposition from the public on this item, and Planner Arturo Salazar is present to do a short staff presentation.
Good evening, Chairman Springs and members of the commission. The subject site was developed in 1996 with an approximately 10,500 square foot, one-story, multiple-tenant commercial building. Throughout the years, the tenant space was occupied by commercial, retail, and office use. On December 13th, 2022, the planning staff approved a business license for Market Stop. The previous use in the tenant space was a convenience store. Properties to the north, south, east, and west are zoned MUC and developed with residential and commercial uses. The subject site is located on the north side of Imperial Highway. The site shopping center has 6 tenants and a parking lot. Landscaping includes 4 palm trees and a variety of shrubs in front of a masonry block wall that surrounds the property. No building alterations are proposed. The subject site has lighting and security cameras on the street-facing facade of the building that monitor the street and parking lot. There are also interior cameras inside the market. If the Planning Commission decides to add any additional cameras, it would be included on the plans during site plan review. The market occupies an approximately 2,050 square foot space within the multiple tenant building. The business stocks a range of everyday items such as groceries, tea, coffee, chips, confectionery, non-alcoholic beverages, toiletries, and cleaning supplies. The hours of operation are from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. The market includes 274 square feet of cooler space of non-alcoholic beverages and approximately 11 shelves that hold snacks and groceries. The applicant is proposing a 4-door cooler for alcoholic beverages and a 20 square foot open shelf alcohol storage area that will be used for the display of beer and wine. According to ABC, 3 off-sale licenses are permitted within the census tract where the subject site is located. ABC records indicate that there are currently 5 active licenses for off-site sales of alcohol within the census tract. A public convenience or necessity findings is required due to an overconcentration of alcohol beverage control licenses within the census tract. In the subject crime reporting district, the crime rate increased from 93 incidents in 2021 to 113 incidents in 2023. The subject site had no incidents in 2021, 2022, and 1 incident in 2023. The proposed project supports goals of the Active Transportation Plan and strategies of the Energy and Climate Action Plan. The project is consistent with the general plan and will further the goals of the major mixed-use land use designation. A CADX has been prepared by staff stating that the proposed project is exempt. This concludes staff's presentation. I will be happy to answer any questions you may have at this time, and the applicant is also available for questions.
Okay, thank you, Art. We're going to open up questions for you. We're going to start off with Commissioner Trejo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tell me again how many licenses, the ABC permits at this site? In the
3 off-sale licenses are
3.
permitted within the census tract.
And there are currently 5.
5.
So if this were to be approved, that would take it up to 6,
That is correct.
double what ABC permits.
Pardon?
Double the number of what
Yes.
ABC permits.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Shaw Williams,
No questions at this time. Thank you.
Commissioner Rice.
My questions are for the applicant.
Okay, I just want to kind of reiterate what you said, Art, in regards to the number of crimes that have occurred in that census tract. Am I correct? Where we have burglaries, assaults. In 2021, there were 36 assaults, 2022, 25, and then we got 27 in 2023. So the crime totals from 2021, and it went from 93 in 2021 to 113 in 2023.
That is correct.
And we're talking about our census tract. Thank you. I have no other questions for you. If the applicant is here, can you give us your name and then tell us about your project and why is it important for you to have this license and how will it benefit the community?
Excuse me, Chairman, just a really quick point of clarification.
Yes.
The crime statistics are reported in districts, not the census tract.
Districts.
Yeah, so just want to clarify that.
Thank you. Are you on it? It does say district. You're on it. Give us your name and tell us about your project, please.
Good evening, good evening, commissioners. My name is Ariel Gutierrez on behalf of Wood Diaz Group LLC. I'm here with the applicant as well, Ben Masaban. The request before you, a Type 20 licensed beer and wine offsite sale, I believe it's a minor request given that the concentration of the business is, all the other merchandise that's being sold at this market. So it's just an added amenity to the operation. Just to add to that, we have an operator that's been in business for about 40 years. He actually owns other markets in the city of Los Angeles and has carried an alcohol license also. So you have a responsible operator, and given that he is applying for this new beer and wine license at this location, he wants to make sure that any potential concerns are addressed. Part of it is providing a ID reader, which is available now, that make sure that any point of alcohol sales are properly screened. Secondly, there's a 24-hour CCTV camera that's already installed at the premises, and this will also do a recording that's available for the police department for any incidents that may occur at this location. So the question that you have regarding why we would like to add this beer and wine, it is an essential service for this convenience market. I mean, this is not just like a liquor store. The service is not concentrated in alcohol. It's for the entire general merchandise that's being offered. So that's the reason why it's necessary for the applicant operator to include this as part of the amenity. That's what I have. Thank you.
Okay. We're going to have questions for you. So we're going to start off our questions with Commissioner Trejo.
Can you be more specific on what the convenience is to add potentially a 6th license to this area or to this census tract?
There's a lot of the locals, and knowing that they can purchase the general merchandise from the daily sundries. It's, it's better for them that it's a one-stop type of operation, that everything is accessible. And knowing that we're not selling anything by single can, it prohibits a customer just to purchase one item, solely just an alcohol, which is going to be very expensive. So that's the reason why we're providing that.
And do you feel that this is not provided by the other establishments that have a license already that are in close proximity to you?
It's
very close proximity to you.
Hi, my name Ben Massaband. I'm the owner of the Market Stop.
Good evening.
Good evening. And one thing we forgot to mention, we have 24 hours security which goes patrol with the car. Like they come in the morning, in the lunchtime, they go all around, which is hired by the landlord for the whole center. And the second thing is, I've been there for 1 year and 3 months. All the customer comes in, they ask if we have a beer. I said, no, we have to go to the other store. So this way I keep losing customers. So that's why the reason I apply for the beer license. And previously I have a gas station which have a beer, and I have no problem. Myself, I'm there, and this shop, my wife would be there, and within 6 months, I'm gonna move here too. So both of us are gonna be there 24/7 every day, either me or my wife, to watch the store.
Thank you.
Commissioner Shaw Williams.
Good evening. Although I appreciate you wanting to make it convenient for your customers, sometimes we are inconvenienced. I know I personally shop at some stores and I have to go to several stores to get what I want. The concern is there are already 5 licenses in this area, and we have 2 letters here from residents that live in that area who are very concerned about the safety, about the homelessness, and the crime in that particular area that I'm also familiar with. You made a comment that you have customers that come in and want to purchase beer and wine, and you tell them they have to go elsewhere, and you lose customers. Are you telling me that these customers that you're saying you lose never come back and purchase items at your store? Once you tell them that you don't sell beer and wine, there's not other items in your store that they want to buy or come back to your store to buy?
Sometimes when they want to go home, they want to make one stop. Regarding to the homeless, that store was empty for 9 years. And the homeless was sleeping before I leased it around the property, behind the garbage cans. It was disaster. Since I moved in, there is no more homelesses. It's clean, immaculate clean. Every day we have person come clean it up. I want to say, as my landlord says, since you moved in, the shopping center went up 100%.
Again, I live in that area. I'm very familiar with the surroundings in that area. So I'm going to have to disagree with you on that, but I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Rice.
How long have you been in business at that location?
1 year and 3 months.
Would you take the mic, please?
1 year and 3 months?
Yes, sir.
It sounds like a number of people who have gotten there before you to at the 2700 block, 3100 block, 3200 block, and 3300 block, all of Imperial. So you would be a 5th within basically a 4-block radius. I'm really concerned that among the overconcentration, with reference to the overconcentration, I'm in agreement with ABC that we have too many beer and wine establishments there already, and I'm concerned that you may at some point begin to cannibalize one another.
Those are you are talking is most of them are the gas stations with drinking and driving or coming in and going. But I'm on the limited time, open 6 a.m. actually to not 9, 8 p.m. we close and go. I mean, it's a very short period. We are not going to say until 2 a.m. like the gas stations to sell alcohol to anybody. No, it comes from 6 to 8, and that's it.
The business model, when you came in a year and a half ago to start this business and you had to look at the performer and figure out how you would survive in this environment, was beer and wine a consideration at that time?
Yes, I consider the beer and wine. It's very hard without the beer and wine. We started very good, but because we don't have that, honestly, I'm losing customers. I can see my sales. They come in, imagine 20 customer comes in, 10 of them ask, do you have a beer? At the afternoon when they want to go home. And this is really hurting the business. We have
No
3
further questions,
employees.
Chairman. No further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. I have some questions for you, sir. You indicated that this is a supermarket, right? I mean, a small market,
Small market.
and you sell
Meal,
produce.
not produce, but
That's my question. Do you sell produce?
No.
Do you sell meats?
Yes.
So you
packaged meat.
packaged meat,
Yes. We
no
sell
fresh meat,
banana, we sell
no
apple.
butcher, but it's just like a convenience store.
Yes, sir.
Understood. So when you put your budget together for the entire year, prior to asking for beer and wine, do you have a positive
No,
budget?
Your Honor.
Is it in the black? Is it in the red?
Is in a red. We have 3 employees and
Okay, so let me finish asking. So if we put a budget together for you, if you had a beer and wine license, would it be in the black?
it's going to be the market is start going and raising,
So you're telling us that the only way that you will be able to survive your market is to have a beer and wine license. Is
Yes,
that what
sir.
you're telling us?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. No further questions from us. If there's anyone who are for or against this particular project, if you can go back to the mic, give us your name, and you have 1 minute to tell us what your thoughts are on this particular project. Hearing, seeing none, we're going to close this segment. Are the final questions from the commissioners? Commissioner Trail,
No question.
Commissioner Shaw Williams,
No questions, thank you.
Commissioner Rice.
I am number one in trying to support and save businesses and make sure that they're able to operate with a profit in the community. I would like to have seen this evening all those members of the community or several members of the community to come and support your argument this evening, and I didn't see anyone, so that's concerning. It's only comment, Chairman.
Okay, is there a motion on the floor?
Motion.
Go ahead with your motion, please.
I move that we deny the request under special use permit 23-00027 to allow the sale of beer and wine for off-site consumption at 3535 West Imperial Highway. The required finding that the granting of this request will provide a public convenience or necessity cannot be made inasmuch as there are already 5 off-sale licenses within Census Tract 6042 that provide for the off-sale of beer and wine to the community, where ABC permits 3 off-sale licenses. Thus, there is no necessity or convenience being provided via this request. The service of off-sale beer and wine is already being provided at other locations in close proximity to 3535 West Imperial Highway. Additionally, the granting of such request would be detrimental to the immediate neighborhood located in Crime Reporting District number I-35 inasmuch as there are 5 active off-sale licenses in close proximity to the immediate area. And adding another license could contribute to alcohol-related and other crimes. Crime has increased in the crime reporting district, not decreased. Allowing one more license to the city at this location would have a negative effect on the general welfare and safety of the neighboring properties and would cause an undue concentration of alcohol outlets in the area. A feeling also felt by members of the community in communications received by the Planning Commission in opposition to the application.
Second.
You heard the motion, you heard the explanation. Call for any questions? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote.
Commissioner Rice,
Aye.
Commissioner Trejo,
Aye.
Commissioner Shaw Williams,
Aye.
Chairman Springs.
Aye.
Chairman, according to the IMC, anyone may appeal the Planning Commission's decision. The appeal must be filed within 20 days from the notice of the decision and shall be made by filing a written appeal along with the appeal fee of $942 to the Planning Division.
Okay, thank you. Right.
Item 6C, a public hearing to consider an application by Jennifer Wiggin representing KTGY for special use permit number 23-00029, SUP 23-00029, to allow the construction of an approximately 3,700 square foot fast food restaurant with a drive-through and outdoor dining on an approximately 34,000 square foot C2A P-1 airport commercial automobile parking zone property at 11312 South Prairie Avenue.
Chairman Springs and members of the commission, the file is present and notice has been given in the form and matter as required by law. Staff received no correspondence from the public on this matter, and Planner Christine Rivera is present to do a short staff presentation. The presentation will be pulled up shortly.
Good evening, Chairman Springs and members of the Commission. The subject site for this special use permit is located at 11312 South Prairie Avenue and is zoned C2A and P1. The property is located to the east of Prairie Avenue and to the south of 113th Street. Nearby uses include residences, a hotel, a vacant lot, and a car wash. The site is planned for a freestanding McDonald's fast food restaurant. The building will be situated on the west side of the lot, bordering Prairie Avenue and 113th Street. Vehicles will enter the lot via 113th Street and move towards the south side of the lot, providing better site circulation. The applicant is proposing a typical McDonald's interior with cashiers, ordering kiosks, and seats. There will be an outdoor dining area that will help to activate the street on the corner of Prairie Avenue. The McDonald's will be a modern, rectangular building with parapets to bring dimension. The applicant went through a few revisions to the plans that enhance the building's aesthetic. This is an example of the first version that was submitted for a special use permit. The second version that they sent to us included parapets, more color, and circulation was changed on this plan, but staff further encouraged more improvements to their plans. And this is the final version that they are bringing to the Planning Commission, which includes parapets, green wall, exterior seating. The applicant also made changes to the landscaping to include more trees, shrubs, and berms throughout the entire lot. As conditioned, the proposed project will serve as an enhancement to its neighborhood setting and will be compatible with the surrounding area. The proposed project is consistent with the general plan, and it is consistent with the active transportation plan in that it will be a safe, comfortable, and attractive environment for pedestrians and for bicyclists by providing bicycle parking. It is also compatible with the Inglewood Energy and Climate Action Plan goals of energy efficiency by providing double queuing lanes to reduce idling times for cars waiting in the drive-thru. If the Planning Commission approves the request, the applicant will be required to complete the site plan review process, and they will also be required to complete the parcel map process to combine 2 lots into 1. And this is exempt from further environmental review. No public comments were received for or against the request. This concludes my presentation, and I am available to answer any questions. The applicant is also here tonight to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. You indicated the address is 11312 South Prairie.
Yes.
Did you say that was on the west side of the street? Or is that on the east side of the street? Because.
East. Did I say west? It's on the east side.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. Are we going to open questions for you? We're going to start off with Commissioner Trejo. I know you're not, you see, I told you I was going to get you on that, okay?
I just have,
Excuse me, Commissioner.
yes.
Chair, may I just interject really quickly? One or just 2 things. With your permission, I'm sorry, Commissioner Trejo. Permission
Right
granted?
ahead, sir,
All right.
since you already interrupted us.
Hey, my apologies.
It was
2
Mr.
things.
Jackson who did that, okay.
Two things that we wanted to mention. First off, is this is the first SUP that is brought forward from our recently adopted fast food ordinance that was that you established the standards for, that the applicant is following this evening with this request. And secondly, with the proposed McDonald's, we will be removing a liquor store from the subject site, further improving and enhancing the prairie. So just wanted to add those 2 nuggets.
Well, let me ask you a question on that. In regards to removing that liquor store, does that individual or that particular person still have his liquor license? Or can it be moved somewhere else in the city?
The liquor license is owned by the purveyor of the store, and so they would be able to then sell it or whatever they would like to do.
Okay. Commissioner Trail?
I want to comment on the liquor license, and then I'll make,
Okay.
will they have to, if they decide to stay within the city, to use that liquor license, would they have to go through an SUP again? I mean, they're not grandfathered, are they?
Yeah, it just depends on the location. I mean, with any beer and wine or alcohol sales from a commercial offsite would require an SUP. The whether or not the public convenience or necessity finding would need to be made would be determined by the number of licenses within that census tract as we established in the last SUP application.
Okay, so they would have to go through that process.
They would
They're
have to
not
go
grandfathered.
through. Correct.
Thank you. Well, on this one, I don't have too many questions. I'm happy to hear that they've responded positively to the request, that they're meeting our fast food restaurant guidelines, and that they responded when you asked for additional information, improvements. That's a great thing to hear. The only thing I didn't see, what are the hours of operation?
I think that might be a question for the applicant.
Okay, I'll wait for the applicant then. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Shaw Williams,
No questions at this time.
Commissioner
Chair.
Rice.
Just wanted you to go over the queuing, because everyone's entering off of 113th Street. First question. Second question, I'll throw it in so you can fill that one also. The width of 113th Street,
The width of
how
the,
wide the street is. I think you're queuing in nine, we'll figure that one out in a minute. But I think you're queuing, 9 cars on site?
9 cars.
So if we have 15 cars at this McDonald's and extremely busy, stadium day, activity going on, where do the cars line up off-site?
So they will have to go through a traffic management plan with our Public Works Department, just to, figure out the best way to manage that if that does happen. Right now, the way they're queuing is on this south side, up here up to 113th Street.
And I'm just concerned because we have another space, name has slipped my mind, 64th and La Brea. What's the name of the hamburger stand we approved there? Stormburger. And their queuing gets filled up often, and then they're going down 64th Street, and often in the mornings when I'm coming in, there's 6, 7 cars down 64th Street while people are trying to come out.
Yeah, they will, the way that our fast food ordinance drive-through guidelines were established were to make sure that the queuing, which is shown here, there's enough queuing space so that the cars would not extend out into the street. The original proposal showed or had an entrance to the driveway on the north side of the lot that would have off of 113th and wrapped around the front along on the west side in front of along adjacent to Prairie. And so that would have allowed for cars to queue to back up onto 113th Street and create a significant traffic impact. Whereas now with the location of the driveway, cars have to drive all the way down to the most southern end of the property, as well as meet a double queuing lane, which also would take some pressure off of the cars that are queuing, as well as the pickup window located, back closer to the most northern end of the property, which will, really mitigate any of those traffic impacts or queuing impacts that we see at Stormburger. And I know because I've driven to Stormburger and had to drive past it because I couldn't get to the drive-through. So that was one of the lessons learned, and that was one of the things that we took into consideration in developing these guidelines.
And we have one driveway here on the top right side on 113th Street there.
That's correct.
Yes.
Is there another driveway or just
No.
the one? So you would line up from Prairie down 113th Street, provided there's I know Stormburger is probably a lot more popular than McDonald's, but
Yeah.
But I mean, you don't think they're going to have more than 9 cars?
Well, I think that the queuing, if you look at how they stack, there's definitely there's room to provide for more than 9 cars. That was just the minimum number that
So they exceeded
that we examined.
They exceeded the minimum.
They definitely would have exceeded the minimum, and I'm sure if they would have provided additional cars that stacked from the pay window to the pickup window would also provide or be able to show that there are more cars available.
And then on top of that, okay, so we have the cars queuing in here, and now the cars that are coming in to park. Can you walk through and just give me a little finger motion there? I know you don't have a pen to do it with, but if they're parking there, which way are they coming in to park and then go in and out?
Go ahead.
Are they?
So the,
So they're having to get into the same line technically that they're getting into for the queuing line.
no, so the cars that come in are coming in off 113th. They could drive down and circulate into these parking spaces here and queue out, or kind of make a immediate was that a left turn?
You have both arrows above going out, so they can't come in that way and go around.
Yeah, that should be a two-way driveway.
That should be
And so, yeah, and we'll correct that during site plan review. So sorry about that confusion. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I see what
Okay,
you're saying.
fair enough.
And also just so that just to clarify that, you can also see here on the bottom portion, there is an arrow that's
the arrow's
showing the
covered. I
opposite.
see
Yeah,
it
it's
now.
covered. So it's showing the
Okay.
two-way traffic there. And so that arrow needed to be turned.
No further questions. Thank you.
Okay, my question has to do with, you, at one point, you had colors on the building, and I think the last decision was made is to have the more toned down coloring. That one, is that the one that was decided upon?
Yes. Mhm.
Is that shrubbery against the building? Is
Yes.
that live shrubbery?
Um,
Is that
I'm,
fake shrubbery?
I'm not sure if we decided that yet.
You did decide something on the shrubbery, on the plants that you have here. Where was it? Yes. That'll be 004-5174. That's the shrubbery that we're going to be using.
Yes, this is their landscape plan. So this is all of the shrubbery, trees that they'll be using on the lot.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Good presentation. If the applicant is here, please go to the mic. Please pick up the mic and take it to your, so we can hear you. Give us your name and tell us about this particular McDonald's.
Good evening, commissioners. You can hear me okay?
Yes.
I'm Jennifer Weigant. I'm representing KTGY, the architect for this new McDonald's. We'd like to thank you and your staff for your support throughout this process. Over the past 8 months, we have closely collaborated with Christine and the team at the City of Inglewood to refine the building design and site layout. Our design has progressed through constructive dialogue with planning, the city's design consultant, and Councilwoman Dion Falk. To give you some background of the design process, initially our submittal had proposed the McDonald's prototype as the building design, and the building was oriented inwards away from the street facing the parking field. The staff expressed a strong desire to create something iconic and forward-thinking. Given that this site is located on a main thoroughfare leading to the Kia Forum, SoFi Stadium, and the new Intuit Dome. Through several rounds of feedback and discussions, collaborating with the staff, we updated the building orientation, turning it to become street-facing and inviting to pedestrians. The design evolved to activate the street corner, becoming part of the urban environment and providing a dynamic building that is pedestrian-friendly and an attractive place to gather. Our team has reviewed the conditions, and we agree with how they were written. We are very excited to be a part of this development, contributing to the future forward direction happening in Inglewood. And we're happy to answer any questions that you have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Keep the mic. Commissioner Trejo?
Yes, what are your hours of operation? Days and hours?
Yeah, we're requesting 24 hours, 7 days a week.
That's what I thought. Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Shaw Williams?
Yes, I wanted to know approximately how many employees are you looking to employ in this area? I mean, excuse me, at this particular McDonald's?
Yeah, so this one will have about 85. employees. Typically 12 managers and about 73 crew members.
And what about the McDonald's over on Prairie and Century and the one on Crenshaw and Imperial? Are there any projected improvements for those McDonald's that you know of?
So yeah, we do have a reinvestment program. I'm not sure where those are in the list, but McDonald's does have an active policy where they need to be updated every 10 years. And I'm not too sure where that is and when the last time they've been. We actually have this here tonight, so I don't know if
Maybe they can answer that.
if when the
Just
last
curious.
time it's been updated.
Right. Okay, thank you. I have no further questions. It's a beautiful building, by the way.
Thank you.
If the store manager, you can answer that question.
Interior, do you know when?
Please give us your name.
Hi, Roselia Hernandez. The one on Century and Prairie, it's projected to do a remodel on 2027, the beginning on 2027.
Yeah.
And I think Imperial we did 3 years ago, about 3 years ago. Yes. Oh,
Crenshaw and Imperial.
I'm sorry. This one's not hers. 10 years, so I'm sure it's projected within, a reasonable time frame.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I have a couple of questions. I'm looking at the layout of the facility, and it appears to me you're next to the Quintetta La Quita, which you'll probably get a lot of business if you're approved. But I don't see it being kid-friendly. It doesn't seem to be a kid-friendly McDonald's, whereas the one on Imperial and Crenshaw is a kid-friendly where it used to be.
It is.
Is it still that way? Where the kids would go in, but this doesn't appear to be a kid-friendly. It looks like more like a restaurant. You're not going to ask for beer and wine license, I'm sure.
No, we won't ask for that.
Okay, very good. That is recorded. You just recorded that. So can you tell us why we're changing the design of our McDonald's now?
Yeah, so what you're referring to, what we call is a play place. Lately, and especially after COVID, we've been moving away from them and actually shutting some of them down. I think that's A. So this is actually a smaller footprint McDonald's. Also another reason.
Keep forgetting about this COVID. Changed everything. Okay, thank you very much. At this particular point, we have some more questions. You have another question?
I haven't asked any questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I apologize, Commissioner Rice. I normally go this way, but I changed it for Commissioner Trejo, but I did. Commissioner Rice.
Only questions were in reference to your ordering PA system. I'm just concerned that we may have a lot of volume coming out of there, and how are you controlling that so that it doesn't interfere with the residences, even the hotel that's adjacent to you?
Yeah, inside operations has control over it, over the loudness, and during evening hours, it can go when less traffic, noise out there, it can be turned down.
So on staff, do we have a regulation on the decimal rating?
Yeah, we do. And typically what happens if there are any concerns with regard to the volume of the PA system, the communication system back in the store, they'll communicate that to our code enforcement, and then code enforcement will then speak with the operator to try and work out a volume that works. But there are decibel restrictions in our noise ordinance that they'd have to apply by.
Okay, thank you.
There's no further questions. Thank you very much. I'd like to open it up for anyone who's in favor of this particular project or against this particular project. Go to the mic, give us your name, and give us your opinion. You have 1 minute. Hearing, seeing none, we're going to close this segment. Any final questions from our commissioners? Commissioner Rice,
No questions.
Commissioner Shaw Williams,
No further questions.
Commissioner Shrell.
No more questions. Thank you.
Is there,
Chairman. I'm sorry, I have to, can I just make a statement about this particular development?
absolutely, Mr. Jackson.
I really want to
Getting ready to have a
commend.
vote, but
I really want to commend McDonald's when they first came in with the prototype. We instantly knew it wasn't going to fit well with what we were trying to do along Prairie, particularly with the volume of visitors that are coming into the city. And as we began to talk and collaborate with them, staff did an extraordinary job communicating to the McDonald's family, to the architect, what we were looking for. And they were very amazingly responsive. And so we were very appreciative of that. We were able to work through a number of issues, and they worked alongside with us. So it makes me feel good to see us get to this particular point where you can see the progression of what happens when staff is working alongside with architects to be able to bring out the very best in our city. So I appreciate staff for all the hard work and the architects and the McDonald's Corporation.
okay, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, you won't get a free burger, okay? Okay, is there a motion on the floor, please?
Motion. I recommend that the Planning Commission affirm the categorical exemption EACE 2024-032 and adopt the resolution approving SUP 23-00029, which includes freestanding fast food restaurant, drive-through, and outdoor dining.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved in second. We'll call for any questions. Hearing none, we'll call for a vote.
Commissioner Rice,
Aye.
Commissioner Trejo,
Aye.
Commissioner Shaw Williams,
Aye.
Chairman Springs.
Aye. Mr. Bernard?
Chairman, according to the IMC, anyone may appeal the Planning Commission's decision. The appeal must be filed within 20 days from the notice of the decision and shall be made by filing a written appeal along with an appeal fee of $942 to the Planning Division.
Okay. Congratulations on your McDonald's. Look forward to it. All these McDonald's people here? Are you serious?
Yes. No one said anything.
Oh,
Oh, the family. Wonderful.
congratulations. All right, Madam Secretary.
Item 7A, non-public hearing. A non-public hearing to consider an application by Shomov Hospitality LLC for 1-year review and assessment of SP 2020-004, approved on August 5th, 2020, to allow 1, the on-site consumption of beer and wine and distilled spirits, 2, outdoor dining, and 3, outdoor live entertainment within a hotel, hotel restaurant, and hotel pool lounge on an approximately 86,102 square foot M1L limited manufacturing zone property at 3900 West Century Boulevard.
Chairman and members of the commission, there is no oral presentation for this evening's report. However, Planner Arturo Salazar is prepared to provide an update from the last Planning Commission's requests and questions that were asked of staff.
Good evening, Chairman Springs and members of the commission. At last month's Planning Commission meeting, this board requested that the applicant return 30 days with specific information related to the business operations of the valet parking and preventive measures for crimes at the subject site. Since then, the applicant is currently working on a partnership with IPD Community Affairs Section Liaison to provide crime prevention measures at the subject site. As for providing 100% valet parking at the subject site, according to the applicant, it's necessary due to the proximity of SoFi Stadium and the Hollywood Park Retail Center. The valet parking services allows the applicant to oversee all the assigned parking spaces at the subject site during the business hours.
Okay, we did have some questions in regards to that, so I'm going to open it up for the commissioners to bring those questions up. And if I can get the applicant as well to go to the mic, and along with you, Art, if it's okay, we can have those questions answered. So we're going to start off with our questioning. This is someone different. It wasn't the same gentleman, right?
It was me, Commissioner. I was here last month.
Same guy?
The same guy.
Yeah.
Chairman, we asked the business operator of the Loom Hotel as well as Cork and Batter to both be here this evening so that they can address all of your concerns and show that they're working in concert to provide the safety measures that you requested.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Commissioner Trejo?
Yes, thank you for appearing and coming before us to, I know I was quite vocal on the auto theft situation that I had read in last month's Planning Commission report. Can you tell me what, I know you've worked with planning staff on this, but can you tell me in your words what led up to the 7 calls to the Inglewood Police Department that were mentioned in the report last month?
So good evening, Commissioner. So just to expand on that question, I just wanted, to make a comment in regards to us starting to operate in the city before we even opened doors. And I'm talking specifically about the restaurant here. We reached out to Inglewood PD and we wanted to make sure we're good tenants in the city of Inglewood. So we've been working with the Inglewood Police Department the whole time we've been operating. We've reached out to both the Inglewood PD, what's the word? Just the officers that provide the patrol, as well as the gang unit, as well as the community relations staff as well. So we wanted to make sure that we're good partners while we operate this business. I visited the police department. We were, able to look at some of the police report. Reports. To be honest, I couldn't find anything related specifically to vehicle break-ins. I brought a friend along here, Tom Beatty is here with the hotel operator as well, and he can touch on that on the hotel side.
Absolutely. Good evening, Commissioners. Thanks for having me this evening. Glad to talk about the Loom and very proud to be here in the city of Inglewood. My understanding is that the 7 incidents you're referring to were attributed to the property because they happened close to the property, not particularly on the property. I'm not aware of any pattern of incidences at this property that would bring a security concern to me outside of normal hotel operations that you'd see in any hotel operation.
Well, that's quite reassuring to hear because I obviously was quite surprised at seeing what I saw, and it needed clarification, and it needed to be brought to the attention of everybody involved just to ensure that if it was happening, that it won't happen again, and to prevent it from happening. So I am happy to hear that you're aware of it. You took the time to look at the reports, determined where the problems were, and again, I'm hate to use the word assuming, but I'm guessing that the planning staff continues to work with both the loom and the cork and batter.
That's correct. And also, just want to make the point that one of the things that came out of this discussion was the creation of the partnership with the Community Liaison Division of the IPD, along with the business owners, and their willingness to come in and help train their staff on security measures as it relates to alcohol-related operations in the business, and also just some best practices in the ways that they can better secure their site on a day-to-day basis. Staff is also looking at applying these types of conditions, that type of communication with the community community affairs liaisons division, to also ensure better partnerships for other businesses that are getting these types of licenses throughout the city, to better ensure the safety of the customers and our residents.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
Commissioner Shaw Williams?
Hi, I was the one who was concerned about the difference in prices for valet. I don't have an issue with valet parking. As I explained in our last meeting, when you came before us, my issue was it's $10 to park in the back, and it's $15 to park. I'm accustomed to one cost for a valet parking. Did you speak to your valet people about that?
We have, Commissioner. We've addressed it with the valet operator, and it will not, excuse me, I've had a long day. It will no longer be happening.
Thank you. Appreciate that, because we love going to Cork and Batter. Thank you. No
Commissioner
further
Shaw
questions.
Williams, can you explain to myself and the rest of the commissioners about the valet you indicated about?
Oh, the valet parking. It was a situation where we had went to dinner one evening, and there was available parking in front of the loom. And the gentleman told me if I wanted to park, I said, "Can you just park the car here?" He said, "Yes, but that would be $15, and it's cheaper if you park it in the back. It would be $10. And I questioned him on that. I said, "This is the first time I had ever heard of that, because we frequent there, and it was always one price." So that was the issue. Why are they charging $10 to park in the back and $15 in the front? He said it's easier, or I can't recall exactly what he said, but something to the point, well, because it's closer for us to get the car than go in the back and get it. But thank you, I appreciate that.
So we're settled on $10, right?
Yeah, it's $10.
Commissioner Rice? Is that all? I'm sorry, Commissioner Shaw Williams?
No further questions. Thank you, Chair.
Commissioner Rice, please.
I appreciate both of you gentlemen coming out to help clear this up, because it was a real contentious matter for us last month, and we had to sort this out, and working together with Cork and Batter and the Loom and resolving this and concurring with staff that this is what actually happened. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for coming.
Well, you've answered all the questions. But when we come, we have to get our cars valet parked. Is that correct?
Fortunately, but I will be there to make sure that you guys can park yourselves if you like. Just
Not
give me a heads up. Just give me a heads up.
You know, you said that, and it's being recorded, so I am going to come. I'm going to be looking for you.
I am there, long hours, long
Okay,
days.
very good.
Every day.
I have no other questions. Is there any final questions from the commissioners? Okay, this is not a public hearing, so there is nothing from the general public. So, is there a motion on the floor, please?
I move that we affirm the approval of resolution number 1877, dated August 5th, 2020.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved in second. We'll call for any questions on the motion and the second. Hearing none, we'll call for a vote.
Commissioner Rice?
Aye.
Commissioner Trejo?
Aye.
Commissioner Shaw Williams?
Aye.
Chairman Springs?
Aye. Okay, gentlemen. The commissioners will be there, okay?
Yes, we will.
Along with staff, because they're treating.
And Chris is going to take.
Chairman, there's no appeal procedure for this item.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now we'd like to open it up to anyone who has any questions or would like to have any initiatives in your particular jurisdiction. You may go to the mic and state your reasoning. Oh. Seeing, hearing none, we're going to close that segment. And now we're going to open it up for commissioners' initiatives. So we're going to start with Commissioner Rice. I'm going to keep you guys guessing.
As we come down Florence, crossing Eucalyptus, the very first street there, I believe it's Ivy, that you make a left turn going across the metro track there. That signal doesn't work very well or at all in some cases. You can just stack up there and just get stuck. So I want you to make sure traffic takes a look at that, making that left.
You said Florence and Eucalyptus?
Florence and Ivy.
And Ivy.
Ivy.
Right.
Yeah, we'll have our Public Works Department take a look at that. Archer.
Okay. Nothing else, Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Trejo? I knew it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I actually don't have anything for tonight. Thank you.
Commissioner Shaw Williams?
No, I don't have anything as well, but wishing everyone great rest of your week and weekend. That's it.
Okay. Well, I have a few things. Number one, at our last meeting, I had brought up the idea of those planners that are on the corners, starting at Centinela and La Brea, going south all the way to Florence and La Brea on the west side of the street. There's accumulation of trash and it has never been addressed.
Yeah, a couple things. One, those are drainage planners, and they were installed as part of I believe, some funding that was made available through the state. We did communicate out to our Public Works Department to investigate what the cleaning standard would be for those, and we are in communication with them, and we anticipate we'll be able to report back to you at the next Planning Commission their response. So they're looking into what their schedule. I'm going a little bit further than saying clean it out. I'm saying what's the schedule, how are you going to approach it, how are you going to be proactive about it, kind of moving forward. They do. It is an interesting situation because they installed it, but I don't believe that there was necessarily a mechanism for dealing with the amount of trash and damage that was occurring around some of their guardrails, as well as the trash that was being picked up. So,
now my question to you, Mr. Jackson, you said the state, it was funds from the state?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, but it belongs to the city at this particular point.
It does.
So it's the city's responsibility.
Yeah.
And you said it's a drainage.
Yes.
So by being a drainage, would trash stop the drainage?
That's why you have the plants down there. Really, the plants become a filter for not just trash, but any kind of debris that goes in there. So it catches the trash, and it makes it easier to be able to remove if you have a programmatic approach to cleaning it out. And that's what we're working on now.
Now, I did take pictures of it, so at the end of the meeting, I'd like to show them to you. So
Absolutely.
You can take a look at it.
Absolutely.
Okay. My next question is in regards to the inside the Hollywood Park tomorrow, and where we have rental space available. You mentioned that in the green, you gave us a map, and you said the green has already been rented out, and there are some spaces that are available.
Correct.
Could you give us an idea of what kind of pricing we're looking at for the rental, or is there some contact we could make to someone who may be interested in renting that particular facility?
I'll go ahead and I'll work with Mr. McCrumbie to send out an email to all the planning commissioners on the contact information for retail leasing for Hollywood Park. I was a little reluctant to do it last time because they've changed. So they now have a new retailer. So now that they've settled in, we just recently had a meeting with them earlier this week. We'll be able to provide you that information. It will be a link to the website, the contact information, and the individuals that are going to be dealing on the retail side will be included in that as well.
Okay. And lastly, in regards to rentals of the units that are currently available on the ODC site, can you give us an update of what that looks like as far as, or do you have that information in regards to the rental capacity right now, or what's the rent to vacancy?
At the Hollywood Park site?
Yes.
Okay. For the Crosby and the Wesley, is I believe. What was that? Yeah. Those are the name of the two developments. 314 units, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can give you a lease up information on that, but we'll have to email it out to you. I don't have the information off the top of my head. From my understanding, they've adjusted their rates to be a little bit more competitive in the marketplace, and they're also offering some pretty good deals of just being able to come in. I think, what are they talking about for the unit? Yeah, we have a potential rentor.
There were 13 to 15 month lease terms, 8 weeks free for residents within that live in close proximity to the residents. They provide some additional discounts on your down payments and leasing fees and things like that, with some other incentives. So yeah, they're providing some pretty competitive incentives to encourage people to come and lease.
So we'll send you out contact information. You can talk directly with their staff on that and get kind of real-time updates on it. And then we'll also provide you for the Astra too, because that'll give you a good comparison between Astra downtown, our downtown development, and then what's going on in Hollywood Park. We'll make sure you have that this week as well.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I have two more things, and then I'm end it out.
And I remembered something.
Oh, she remembered something. Okay, yes. Okay, it'll be emailed to each commissioner, correct?
Yeah, it'll be an email blast. It'll go out to all the commissioners at one time.
Okay. We had a meeting last month, but we had a meeting based upon the training that we had gone to in Long Beach. And we never did talk about the training, or we never did have that discussion. And I just want to put it out there. I do know that Commissioner Rice and Commissioner Fowler was there. I don't think Trey, you guys missed a great time. I just want to let you know that they missed a great time. We had a great driver, and we had lunch, and we had dinner.
I was at
Oh, you was at the dinner. Okay, so
I had to settle my nerves after driving across that Long Beach, that Long Beach bridge.
Oh, I see.
That's scary.
But I just want to thank the staff for actually putting that together for us. It was really great. It was rewarding in regards of knowledge, because there was a lot of people, a lot of information that we picked up from other parts of the city or the state.
Correct.
That we don't normally do. So it's kind of shocking to us to hear what happens at another commissioner's meeting. So we want to thank you for setting that up for us, and we look forward to the next one that we're going to go to.
Yeah, and one of the things I am going to be encouraging, we're working with the Planning Commissioners Institute to try and, I want to see some more diversity in their panels and in their communication, but that does mean that, there may be some opportunities for us to get a little bit more involved. And I think you see a lot of smaller towns in that, individuals that are showing up there, and we need to be able to share some of our perspective, I think is important. So I've been intending to have a discussion with Acting Planning Manager McCrumbie to talk about ways to make those types of opportunities available to the chairman and the commissioners. I think that's good, and as well as staff somewhat getting involved. I think we need to be seen in some of these panels and really express some of the things that I think we all feel when we're at these meetings so that they can understand how we're doing it in this city. And by the way, they want to hear from us. So this is one of those things where it is a really good opportunity. And quite frankly, they're not excessively committal, so that, you know, it doesn't take a whole lot to do these types of programs, but it has a huge impact. So look forward to some discussion about that as we move forward.
Okay, great. I think Commissioner Trejo has something else you wanted to add?
Yes, I just had a question that I know that I had mentioned to you, Mr. Jackson, a couple months ago about alcohol sales at SoFi by vendors that have them in there. And I saw recently that LA, Los Angeles had a task force that went into parks, I think. I don't think it was any of the stadiums.
Parks.
Any comments on what's
Yeah,
happening?
actually, I got with Code Enforcement Manager Jerry Tucker, and we laid out. We're actually he did a pretty exhaustive memo on how to address the issue, which I think we already kind of knew that, but because of and part of this is to facilitate a dialogue with the supervisor's office through the mayor. Because in order to be effective, we need LA County health to be there, and we need ABC to be there. So it takes a collaborative effort. The advantage that some locations have is because they already have it built into their city halls, so the ABCs are there, the health is there. We depend on outside agencies to support us in our efforts. And in order to be successful, we need not only LA County Health, the ABC, but we also need Inglewood PD, who's been a tremendous asset to us, to all be aligned with our objectives there, because those can be very volatile, as you could imagine.
Yes.
So we are working on that. I hope to have a better update for you in the next probably 60 to 90 days, because there are some discussions that I intend to have with the city manager's office as well as the mayor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Steps forward, though.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that's it. I want to congratulate Eddie again on your retirement.
Eddie.
So. And I think he's having
Come to the mic.
Come to the mic.
Come to the mic. Come to the mic. Is it on?
Okay, Mr. Chairman. This is going to be the last time I'm going to speak to you as a member of the planning division. But we'll still be talking as Trojans, you know.
Yes, absolutely.
Weather commissioners, you know, I've been very, very blessed. You know, like I keep telling everybody, you know, that I've been blessed all these 35 years working for the city of Inglewood. You know, it's been a very, very good journey for me, you know. Inglewood has been very good to me and my family. And I have a lot of emotions built up on me, you know, for living something I've enjoyed doing all these years. But one of the things that I'm going away with is I'm happy of what I can see I was a part of, and what Inglewood has become, you know, and I'm leaving it in good hands. Yeah. This is my boy here. I call him my boy because
That's right.
you know, he was a small boy when he came here, and now he's the one who's going to continue the legacy of what our planning division has been. And like I keep telling everybody, our director here, Mr. Jackson, is the best that I've seen, you know, being in the city. At least I've been here for 35 years. I can see that I've earned the knowledge to say that this person is good at this and this person is good at this. You know, I think I don't know. I can remember because, you know, I'm getting older. But the present commissioners, I like the way you guys, you know, look at cases and how you study your ideas, because there was a time it wasn't normal for the commissioners, you know. But now, with everything that has been going on, And at least with our council, with the leadership of our mayor, the city is moving in the right direction. We're no longer the soap opera of the South Bay. Commissioner, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm very, very happy and very blessed that I'm living, with leaving this city in very good hands. And I'm going to be eternally grateful to everybody that has worked with me, all my co-workers, and my department heads and other departments in the city that have worked with me all these years. I'll miss them a lot. But I'm not going that far, I'm still going to be coming around here, giving you guys some headache. So I really appreciate all the accolades that I've gotten, and I'm blessed. So I just want to say thank you, and I love everybody, and it comes from the bottom of my heart. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. We want to close this meeting in honor of Eddie and his retirement, and we wish him well.
Yes.
Wish him long life, peace, and happiness. This meeting is now adjourned.
Yes.